Today on Unsolved Mysteries, there was a guy in Denver, Colorado that was last seen at a Subway eating a sandwich. 2 hours later, he was nowhere to be found. Next story, guy was driving down the road, swerved and hit a tree. What happened? These and more stories on Unsolved Mysteries. Welcome back, guys. Now, you all remember that creepy music from Unsolved Mysteries. Obviously, those weren't real stories, but I just wanted to kind of poke fun at some of the stories that we heard on there. I mean, a lot of them were serious, don't get me wrong. Some of them were just so far-fetched. Like, there was an instance where a guy was going out to his car. Well, no, actually, he pulled into his job, and later on they found him murdered in the car. The weird thing is the only thing that they could catch was like a car going by through the parking lot. Other than that, they had no evidence of who killed the guy and why. The music, very creepy, creeped me out when I was a kid. The host, Robert Stack, which was also in the movie The Untouchables, had a very creepy, eerie voice. Definitely made the series. The series itself ran from 1987 until 2002, and then they brought it back in 2008 to 2010 with Dennis Farina being the host. Robert Stack actually passed away in 2003, a year or so after they stopped making the show. The show was originally on NBC from 97 to 99. And then it moved to 2001 to 2002 on Lifetime Channel. And 2008 to 2010 on Spiked Network. Now, the original host was actually Raymond Burr and Carl Malden. The series itself was not meant to be a series. It was actually a network special. And when they put Robert Stack on the series of specials, that's when it just stuck. Also, kind of noteworthy, Matthew McConaughey in 1992 actually portrayed a murder victim on the show. That was one of his first mainstream roles, from what I understand. Kind of interesting little tidbit. Some of the stories that you would hear on there about, like, Stonehenge, Titanic, the JFK assassination, the Martin Luther King assassination. There was also stories of, like, alien abductions, murders, but there was also good stories too that were actually very heartwarming. You'd have people who had found their long-lost brother, long-lost family, missing persons they found. There was also a really interesting story, and if you ever watched the series, you'd know this one. There was one where a guy swore up and down that he was being followed, and that he would, he was being followed by some type of government agency of some sort. And he told people, if you want to know what happens to me, if something happens to me, read this book. And they read the book, and it was very eerily similar to the stories that he told. Like I said, the narration of Robert Stack is what made the series. It was so good. I tuned in every single episode. I watched it when it was on the Lifetime channel for the couple years that it was on there. And I remember a little bit of a story. One time, it was during the summertime, and my mom came in the living room and was like, "Nick, why aren't you outside?" And I was like, "Mom, I'm trying to solve a mystery here. This is important." Obviously I was joking, but, it is a little funny story. But, yeah, I always tell people that I was like, "Hey, I'm not just watching TV. I'm trying to solve a mystery. I could be helping out here. I'm a little bit of a detective." But one of the interesting things, another interesting thing about the show was it actually won awards, the Emmy Awards, in 1989 to 1993 to 1995 for Best Informational Television Show. And there was other shows like it. Of course, you had America's Most Wanted, things like that. But the show really did help people. You could call in. You could, now you have the website, and it allowed things, that were necessarily very difficult to solve. People could call in if they've seen something or maybe know a little bit of information. So not only was it an entertaining show, but it was a show that was very helpful to a lot of people. So that was definitely one of my favorite TV shows of the late 80s, early 90s, and then into the mid 2000s. The Dennis Farina, the 2008 to 2010 on Spike Network. I tuned into it also. There were some new stories, mostly ones that were never solved. And something else that always creeped me out was the recreation of the mugshot that they would have of like missing people or people that were suspected of murder or something like that, or kidnapping. The pictures they'd always put up were like a sketch, and they were always really creepy to me. But Dr. Nick, I've watched a lot of TV over the years, and Unsolved Mysteries was by far one of my favorite shows to watch and still watch. I see some episodes on YouTube and stuff like that. I watch every now and then. It was always very interesting to me. But anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all later.